Welcome to another episode of Den Excelsior. This is the live weekly podcast discussing the latest Marvel happenings across all media, but we've also been known to stray off topic from time to time. If it's super powered, we'll discuss it here. This episode is being recorded on the evening of Friday, June 18th, 2021. My name is Dennis, and I'll be your marvelous host for this journey into mystery. I'm joined, as always, by a distinguished nerd panel that it's time to introduce. First up, he's slowly following me down the rabbit hole of action figure collecting, whether he likes it or not. It's Frank.
Oh my god, I just dropped so much money, almost $200 on He-Man toys.
I didn't make you do that. You just I just showed you the information. That's all I do.
You know what's funny too, like what really encouraged me is this one fellow, he followed me to the parking lot, and I was a little worried. I'm all like, man, am I gonna have to shank a dude? But he's all like, that was the last Castle Grayskull in 5 states. I've been to 5 states. And I'm all like, hell yeah, it was.
And you just randomly showed up and got it?
I just randomly showed up and scooped it up. It was they put it in the Lego section.
Oh, that means somebody put it there to come back later when they had the funds.
Yep.
That's what that means.
Well,
but
now they're not gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
I thought you were going to say you were worried about it until you found out that my wife still hasn't left me. But yeah. Anyways, I'm glad you're having fun with that. Let's bring our other people out here because it's weird if we don't. So our next person we have on here, when it comes to D&D, he's chaotic neutral in all the worst ways. It's Ricky.
Ew.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, there's an inherent chaos that I don't wish, but it just happens.
He plays the rogue, man, and like whenever he opens a chest, like, and we all as a group decide on what things we're gonna get, he has to make it clear that he is giving us those things because
I opened it.
He's like, I bestow this upon you. It's what he says.
It's not the party's loot. It's him.
No, it's not the party's loot.
It's his grandiose nature.
Yes.
It's only yours if I tell you what's in there.
Exactly. Except the DM usually tells us first. Anyways, let's get our special guest out.
Let's do it
so that we can finish doing the nerdy talk for the rest of the evening. Our special guest is a huge comic book nerd that I've missed debating with for a long time. He wanted me to say that he's just a fun guy here to be fun. It's Joel Benjamin.
Hello.
That's the intro you wanted me to get.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of anything clever at the time.
Oh no, I liked it. Welcome to the show. It's been a long time. What was that?
Funny listening to the intros of Ricky and Frank, and hearing Frank talk about toys, and I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of toys. Then listening to Ricky sit there talk about D&D, I'm like, oh, I played that too. Oh, I'm around nerds.
It's almost like this is a welcoming, safe space for you.
Seriously, exactly. We just need more alcohol. That's all we do.
Yeah, there's no limit to the amount of alcohol you can have. It's all up to you.
Oh, I assure you.
I got a whole script. I got a script I got to follow for the first part. Like, he's plugging for my after show. This is awesome. So it's a little harder for me to drink, at least in the first part. But yeah, you guys are welcome to do that.
Oh, we partied up for sure.
Yes.
Oh, I've got a zero calorie, zero sugar monster here. I'm ready to go, guys.
I got a cup of water.
I got that for later.
Really quick, I wanted to get something out of the way because Joel, this is the first time you've been on our show, but I've known you forever and stuff. And I just wanted to let the audience have an idea of where your nerd levels are, besides you liking to collect toys and playing D&D. Just specifically, since this is the mostly Marvel podcast, I was wondering if you'd like to share with us what Marvel means to you.
Ooh, that's a big one. It's actually funny because like the first time I was introduced to Marvel was middle school. I used to live in Florida, and I went to a Walgreens, and I was introduced to Jim Lee, his X-Men. It was sitting there. I wasn't really a big comic book fan of that, but I remember picking up his X-Men. It's the one where Gambit pulls out the whole deck of cards and he shoots it in the Gladiator, into Gladiator's chest. I watched it. I was just like, this is life. This is the shit. And I remember from then on, I basically collected comic books as much as I can, all the way to probably like mid to late high school. And I kind of slowed down around there because I got introduced to girls. But lo and behold, right after high school, my first professional job, literally right out of high school, was with Jim Lee.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to work at Image Comics. I used to work at Wildstorm with Jim Lee. And that's stories upon stories upon stories. Probably one of the most fun 4 years I've ever had in my life. That
Awesome.
I don't know if have you guys ever watched that documentary on Wildstorm? On Image, I should say. On Image Comics?
No, I have not. Are you in it?
It's a Zelda.
I'm on one episode of Real World Miami, because of a friend of mine who worked at Wildstorm that was on the Real World, and I was on the first episode of that season because she was there. I was hanging out with her.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
I was going to say
a lot more story to that. It's just
Like that's an interesting IMDb page.
Yes.
And for the audience's reference, at what was the capacity that you were working at Image and Wildstorm?
I was one of the colorists at Image. I used to color all the books, and you name it, I probably colored it. Between the years of 1995 and 98, you name it, I've colored. I was an art director on Phantom Guard. I was one of the colorists on the Iron Man, the Fantastic Four. It's actually fun. I remember the day we finished Fantastic Four because Jim came by and he was just like, "You get a page, you get a page." You like he was Oprah. He was just like handing out like pages from the book that he drew, just the actual pages, and he was just like, "Everybody gets a page, yay!" And he just gave everybody pages from the book. It was one of the cooler moments I have ever had. One of them. I had many cool moments at Wildstorm. Jim is a really cool boss. He's like a really cool boss. I can honestly say probably a lot of my drunken days and my more fun days was hanging out with that guy. I can honestly say. To think
cool.
I went from seeing his artwork in middle school, going like, "Oh my god," to going drinking with him, getting drunk with him. Many times.
Yeah.
This is all good to hear because there's a CGC signing event coming along that features Jim Lee. So I'm just gonna put your name on the thing. That's cool.
He'll remember me. I don't know how much that will help.
That should help. You do it. You have his approval. Go for it.
You can use my name.
Yes. Well, we probably have more.
But
we have more
draw
questions.
like inside jokes on the comics and stuff. Next time I'm bringing the thimble cap, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
I'm sure we have more questions and fun stories from Joel, but I just want to make sure we get the format of the episode tonight out of the way.
Just talk with whatever Joel wants to talk about.
I know you would. But we still have a fun show planned. We're obviously excited to talk about Loki episode 2. But before we get into that, we've got some news and rumors to discuss that Ricky's put together for us. Then we've also got a brief chat on a nerd topic of my choosing, and another round of multiverse bingo where we check in how we're doing for our charities that we're playing for. As a reminder, this is also a chance for you, the audience, to pick our brains with any marvelous trivia or points of confusion that you may have. We'll be checking the comments throughout the show. You could also just ask Joel random questions too. That's fine. That's
Totally
fine
fine
as
with
well.
me.
Random.
Yeah,
All
random.
Jim Lee
Just random.
Random
questions,
as possible.
direct them to Joel.
Yeah, and as Joel was so nice to mention earlier, for those of you who can't get enough of us during this show, you can visit patreon.com/denxmedia immediately after this broadcast ends for our live post show, The Soapbox, where we wind down and just talk about all the stuff we didn't get to in the first 1.5 hours, which is probably Frank just asking Joel a million questions
Jim Lee
about Jim
drunk
Lee.
stories.
Yes, exactly. With that said, okay, I'll let Ricky and Frank ask Joel each one question before we move on to the news.
Cereal soup.
Cereal soup? What?
Cereal soup.
Is cereal soup? Is cereal soup?
Oh, that's the question. I was like, cereal soup. No, it's not hot. Why would cereal be soup?
What about vichyssoise?
Vichyssoise is nasty.
Is that cereal then?
Why would that be soup?
No, vichyssoise is cold soup.
Cold soup, yeah, but isn't it snails? It's like snail soup or something?
No, vichyssoise is like a vegetable soup with like leeks.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so it's disgusting. Okay,
It's still disgusting.
You're right the first time.
Cold. No soup should be cold. There should never be a reason why soup should be cold.
I mean, soup just sucks anyways. Let's just start there.
I don't know if I can sign off on that. But
Loki Twitch wants clarification. Cereal or cereal?
Well, both of them is cold.
By the way, really cool that we have somebody named Loki Twitch watching us tonight. Pretty awesome. Welcome. All right, Ricky, you get your question for Joel, and then we move on to news.
Ooh. So you were a colorist at Image. Was there a? You don't have to answer. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Was there ever a color continuity error that you made that made it into print?
That's an excellent question.
Error? No, because the art director's job is to make sure that doesn't happen. And
that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's like I cannot think of anything that I did when I was art director. I can't think of anything I did that was wrong. I was perfect.
That's quite convenient.
Convenience.
You're asking Joel the wrong question about you're asking the wrong person if Joel did a bad job at his job.
One slips by every now and then, right?
Yeah, just ask the guy working with Joel.
I would tell on myself. Yeah, you should ask my current boss. He'll probably tell you I mess up on a lot of things.
And then just a follow up to that soup. What about gazpacho? I believe, yeah, that's another.
Become the soup
see,
cast.
see, that's because Frank did it. It's
generating conversation, guys.
Cold soup exists. It's a thing.
Cold soup exists. It's still not good.
You think gazpacho like melted ice cream, basically? Right?
All right, Ricky, time for the news.
Blended vegetables. Disgusting.
I got my fancy foods mixed up.
Give us the news, Ricky.
News time. All right. So the news this week, I guess we'll start off with some video games. This past week or so has been E3, and because of that, we've gotten quite a few video game announcements, but two big Marvel ones that we can talk about. First up, everyone's favorite dying game, Marvel's Avengers, Black Panther War for Wakanda expansion. Not necessarily revealed, but we got a full trailer on what exactly it entails, a little bit more details about this expansion that's dropping later this year. Looks like we're fighting Mr. Claw, Ulysses Claw.
That does not look like any claw I've ever seen, but
It
sure.
looks like a claw.
Here's
He
the
has,
arm right there.
yeah.
Oh, he has
it
the
looks
hand.
like-
He has the hand over there.
yeah.
I'm just saying he
looks
looks
like
about
Dr. Claw.
40 feet taller than the claw I've ever.
Do you want him to sing "Home on the Range" with Doctor Doom?
Yes. Yes, I do.
A little shit reaction.
Yeah.
T'Challa.
We have a
this
big
is
Joel,
Edgelord T'Challa over here.
big Joel fan here. T Money 858. Just so you
Oh,
know.
I think I know who that is.
This
Who is
is
T
like
Money?
I don't know. Probably some jerk.
This looks like Black Panther and Spawn had a kid.
You're not
Oh,
wrong.
wow. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I will
This
say
looks
the
like-
art style looks better on this than it does in the actual game. I'm a fan of art. I think when we got that game, we were so flooded with the MCU Avengers that when we saw them, they literally looked like the stunt doubles from Spaceball.
Yes.
So it's like,
Yeah.
so I was like,
100%.
I
But
think being
this one-
away from it for like a year is going to help people like embrace this
Oh,
a
for
little
sure.
better. Yeah.
yeah.
In
Yes.
terms of the art
Yeah.
stuff, I think they carved their own lane for like a realistic approach to these characters without copying the MCU. You know, I like the claw here. He's a little
Yeah.
bit more robotic on the arm.
What's the release date on this one, Ricky?
Was it October? I think the window.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
I-
Here,
I'm
let
not-
me look it up, Ricky.
I could have
I
sworn.
I don't think there was one.
I mean, you had one job. But it's cool. It's cool.
I'm
Don't
really
look it
sure
up
it's
on
that.
your screen, Ricky. Like
August 2021.
August 2021. There you go.
There you go.
I'm actually looking
But
forward to
but if
that.
you ask Ricky, he thinks October.
October. October's the same
Well,
as
it's
August.
definitely coming out in October.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Square Enix, Montreal's newest game. We're talking
Let's
Square
just
Enix. Eidos, right?
I don't get.
Eidos.
Eidos Montreal.
Eidos Montreal.
Why does Drax look like that? He looks like he's wearing like a crop top turtleneck.
I don't
It
know.
looks-
I like
man.
his little
looks
little
weird.
swim trunks.
I do want
He's
to
really
ask
picky,
a
right?
question. You don't have this is optional, Joel, but T Money would like to hear you sing about your reaction to this announcement, this game announcement.
They want me to sing.
Well, I think it's just he does. I don't want you to. But
Whoever T Money is, I really don't know who T Money is. But whoever T Money is really
I
does
really-
not know.
I
my
really
singing.
think you do know who T Money is.
I'm almost guaranteed I know who T Money is. I've never heard the name T Money. If it's
Okay,
the
well,
person
look-
who I.
Well, Loki Twitch wants you to sing it as well. So there's two.
I don't have a good singing voice, so that's not gonna happen. My
Well,
All right.
voice.
That's why they want it.
That's the soapbox right there, guys. You got to pay for that.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
sub
you
for
gotta pay
that.
one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sound like Scuttle from Little Mermaid singing.
oh, let's go second.
Ricky, do you have these are just character shots? Do you have other ones besides Drax, Gamora, and Groot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
more character shots.
there's Star Lord and Rocket. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like what your assessment of Avengers, I feel like that's what this is. I feel like they all look so budget. They just look like the budget versions of and the saddest part to me about this trailer is it didn't get me excited for anything because I feel like where the Avengers game tried really hard to say, hey, we are not the movie characters.
Mhm.
This game's not really doing a strong job of convincing
Oh no,
me that
they're
not,
leaning into it.
they're
Well,
not yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
we're not the movie characters.
Technically,
same
they're
way
doing
that-
a good job of saying this isn't the movie characters.
but it's almost
this
like
don't
they
look
said
like
we're
movie characters.
it's almost like they said we're not Guardians of the Galaxy and forgot to put a porn parody at the end of that statement. You know what I mean? Like that's what's missing from it.
Going back to that trailer, and I know we're going to talk about it again. I didn't realize how sick of Bonnie Tyler I can get this week. Like, I'm so sick of Bonnie Tyler.
I heard that song like 3 or 4 times this week.
Three times, unless you played D&D with me last night, in which I used it again.
Or if you watch Shrek 2.
I used it again because I was like, I could use it better than at least half of the people using it this week. So that was my goal. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And we can talk a little bit more about that later in the show for sure. What's the next piece of news you got, Ricky?
Little quickie. Remember that Silk live action Silk series that got announced? Well, the Watchmen EP Tom Specely.
I think you mean to
Beasley?
say. I think you mean to say a Watchmen EP because
A Watchmen EP.
I'm pretty sure there was
joins,
many of them.
The live action Silk series that's still happening.
I mean,
Well,
it's still being over. It's Phil Lord and Chris Miller are overseeing all of the Sony Spidey TV shows, right? As long as they're overseeing it, I don't care who they put in there. I'll at least try them. I don't know.
Wait,
Did
this
you
is
ever
for
watch-
Silk Spectre?
No, Silk, the Spider-Man character. The Spider.
Okay.
Yeah,
when
it's
you
just
said
like-
Watchmen, I was
I
like,
know. It's the guy that was the executive producer on the Watchmen show is now going to be joining the Silk
okay.
show. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
I just never heard of this news. This is new news to
yeah. Well, that's why it's news because
me.
that's the point. He's supposed to get you on stuff you haven't heard of.
Little
This
surprises
is
here and there.
supposed to put breaking news on the screen.
Oh,
It's
day
probably not breaking.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
But it's breaking to Joel. That's all that matters.
Yes, very true.
Frank, any thoughts on this? Do you care? I don't care.
I don't care.
Like, yeah.
All
I
right.
don't
How
really care
about
about Marvel TV anymore. Like, I'm just so.
I mean,
dead
is Loki
inside.
Marvel TV? Right?
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Yes.
Are you're just dead? You're just dead, Frank? It's a little
I'm
bitter
over
right
it.
now. You're a little.
You know, in fact, I watched WandaVision, the first couple episodes, and I'm all like, man, I remember the good times when I thought this was going to be a cool, punk show that was like kind of push the boundaries of what Marvel can do, and then like got to episode 3, and I'm all like, yeah.
Did you see her Hot Ones that came out yesterday? Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, I did not watch that yet.
She had a good Hot Ones episode.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll check that out. Yeah.
Moving
I
on.
I don't think they need promotion help.
Oh,
If anything, Hot Ones should be saying, "Hey, you guys should go check out Den Excelsior. It's a pretty cool show." That would be helpful. Moving on. We'll get more of Frank's bitterness later.
We should do a Hot Ones episode. That'd be
Aliens
cool.
Aftermath.
I'm gonna just assume this is why it's the mostly Marvel podcast because you brought up aliens.
Well, this is being put out by Marvel.
Oh, that's fair.
This is a one-shot
fair.
comic detailing. They're basically rewriting the end of Aliens, or what happens directly after the events of that movie. And I thought it was kind of neat because this is the first time they're taking a crack at the Alien franchise by
But
in
how-
like the new
Are they go to
era.
Vegas and there's zombies and Tig Notaro's in it. Oh wait, which aliens is this?
I think it's
Aliens, right? There's only one Aliens.
the James Cameron's Aliens.
I'm just
Yes.
messing around.
I know.
this is I kind of feel like they should just leave it alone. This is like Terminator to me. It's like after the second one, don't do anymore. Stop, because they just like fucking shit up.
I like Prometheus. I'll go out and say I've been a big Prometheus defender.
You're the only one.
Yeah, you really are.
Well, it gets
really are.
muddy when they loop it back into Aliens. I'll say that.
No,
it's
it gets
muddy,
muddy in the first 30
Yeah.
minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
When you're told they're scientists, and then the rest of the movie they are not acting
no different
scientifically.
than the shit
Yes.
in
Yes,
WandaVision.
yeah.
No, there's a
Yeah.
huge difference. There's a huge
It
difference.
is because in Aliens, Prometheus, they literally say those are the greatest scientists on Earth, and that claim is never made in WandaVision.
Well, they're not obviously because they're never on Earth in that movie. They left those ones behind.
Oh man,
You-
let's move on because that was a bad argument right there.
I was about to rip into him. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, we're also getting the Aliens show though. That's coming out sometime in the future.
It better be on Hulu because I don't want it on Disney Plus.
I don't,
But
it seems like it'd be.
Oh,
out of
wow,
place
that's
on
true. Disney.
Plus.
They own Fox now, so
mhm.
yeah. So
Put it on
that might
Hulu.
go-
That's
They-
where the rated R stuff goes.
They seem to put their Fox stuff on Hulu
Yeah.
a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
their little sneak.
Well,
All right,
that's why
good
they
enough.
own Hulu is because of the Fox
They put the
acquisition.
boobs on Fox.
Yeah.
Or on boobs on Hulu.
The duck
That's
boobs
why I
on
like Hulu.
Duck boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Those are actually on Peacock, just so you know.
And Tobro. Like
Wait, does
Tobro's
anybody-
on Hulu? It's great.
Is anybody on here actually subscribe to Peacock?
Yeah. Oh well, I
No.
get it with my cable.
The trial, right?
I it's just free. You can do free.
You can do
You can do
free.
free. You can do free. It's
I
like Hulu and Hulu Plus, or whatever. You can do free. You just don't get to watch everything and commercials if you do free.
Hmm.
But Howard the Duck is free with commercials on Peacock. That's how I watched it.
No.
Is it Howard the Duck on Hulu? I could swear I saw it.
It's on Amazon Rental. You can rent it.
No, Ricky, I watched it on
Wait,
Peacock.
why are we promoting Howard the Duck?
I don't know. Thank you for keeping us on track. Let's keep going.
Stop doing
All
that.
right.
Let's keep going.
Dennis's favorite segment, Marvel Legends, aka Dennis's all-consuming addiction.
Maybe Frank's too now. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
let's
knows?
see.
No. It's just He-Man. Just because I had that as a kid,
Okay.
and maybe Voltron if they come up.
That was actually today's announcement. Was a brand new retro carded Sandman on a smaller build body than the previous. He was a Build-A-Figure on a way too big of a body. So this is cool. He comes with accessories. You can have him with, I guess, like his head with a donut hole in it. Who knows? Whatever.
T1000.
Yeah, T1000 style. But no, I like it. It went up for pre-order today all over all the online retailer stores.
That's a Sandman.
It looks like freaking Sandman. What are you gonna say? I mean, and look, and then the card is inspired by the '90s cartoon, so it's a little homage to that. It looks cool. I like it. I pre-ordered it, obviously. So, thoughts? Any thoughts on that one before he jumped into that one? Look, Sandman has an alternate appearance.
You know what I was thinking? That I think the one Terminator property after Terminator 2 that was good was RoboCop versus Terminator.
I feel like there's a lot of Terminator talk before we were even remotely in Terminator land. But yes, you're right. You're right.
Right now. I think RoboCop versus Terminator was good, and I think they should really lean into that property or remake it or never touch it again.
Who owns RoboCop now? MGM still?
I
guess that'd be Amazon.
Well, Amazon.
Yes,
MGM is owned by Amazon now.
Yeah.
Okay. Joel, do you have anything to say about this Sandman toy before we move on?
Or RoboCop versus Terminator.
Okay, well, the type of toys I'm into is more of like the statue figures,
the sideshows.
Sideshow diorama stuff. It's like, according to my wife, she would look at this and she would look at what I have and she'd be like, "It's the same thing." That's how she looks at it. So, it looks cool. I just can't. Like the last action figure I bought was Hot Toys Darth Maul. That was like the last action figure I bought.
I see.
So,
I prefer the smaller ones because you can get more of them, and you get more. I would love to do it like a challenge where like I could name a character and you show me the hot toy or the sideshow, and then I'll pull out the Marvel Legend, and that would be pretty fun. Like for example, can you show me a Batroc the Leaper?
Batroc Leaper, like sideshow or like a hot toy or?
Sure, you got a Batroc the Leaper?
I don't. No,
I know.
I'll say I do love the Iron Man hot toys. Are also cool.
They're great. It's just a different type of collecting.
Yeah, for sure.
Like everybody's got their tastes and stuff like that. But yeah, and obviously we're biased because we don't necessarily show off all of those statues on this show. But I'm welcome to do it, by the way, Ricky, if you ever see that stuff. I don't see that stuff come up in our news outlets often.
There was the Black Widow's hot toys got announced.
Oh, you know what? We did the Miles Morales hot toys when those were announced for the video game. But speaking of Miles Morales, there's also a new stealth Miles Morales figure from the video game that was a GameStop exclusive this week. So
this kind of caught me off guard. Is this the first Miles Morales video game figure that we've gotten?
Yes.
Okay. I don't recall them doing any of the other ones.
Nope. They've done very few video game toys for Spider-Man. Pretty much just like they did main proper Spider-Man, and then they did like 2 other costumes from the game.
I know Hot Toys went through like the gamut of every skin in that game.
They went through a lot, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if I think this is a very niche figure. Like I honestly just like the hands. I think the hands are cool.
I mean,
and
clearly a Miles is coming.
yeah, they'll
soon.
probably make a regular one. Frank, thoughts on this one?
I'd love
Did
to
you-
get it and just paint it like in Miles
The cor-
colors. That'd be really
The correct colors? Yeah.
Just dip it in
It's-
black.
It's a translucent blue plastic, so it's cool-ish. It's cool-ish. Yeah.
I wonder how he
Um,
scales because he's shorter than Peter, right? Technically.
Yeah, he'll scale correct. Hasbro's great about scale. He's not going to be too tall. I promise that.
All right, and then closing out the news, like always, we have this week's comic announcements.
Ricky, I'm gonna need a little bit more energy from you. I'm just a little bit. You gotta turn that up. You gotta drink some shots or
God.
something.
Comics.
Yeah, you're like dying over here. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. Drink it up. Drink it up, Buttercup. There it is. Frank, or Joel. Actually, Joel. Any comic on this list that stands out to you that you'd be interested in reading? No is also a possible answer.
Hell
No.
Venom
Okay,
200.
When it comes to comic books, lately I've been very thin on actually going to the comic store. Like last comic book I bought was the Ninja Turtle. What's it called? Ronin.
Yeah.
That was
the
the
last
last
Ronin.
one. Last
cool
Ronin.
one.
That was the last one I bought. I got the first issue and the second issue. I'm not even sure when they're doing the third issue, but that I got it because it's a cool story. I don't want to say what happens because if anybody's listening or
Well,
watching,
you can say the premise. Like
They will get mad at you. They will get
yeah,
mad.
they will get mad. People will get
one
mad.
turtle's
One
left.
turtle
The other
lives.
turtles are dead. One
Yes,
turtle's
yeah.
left, and he's getting
Okay.
revenge for his brothers.
That's
Yes,
cool.
yes.
What?
So it's
Yes.
definitely Leonardo. Definitely Leonardo.
I'm not going to say who it is, but it's
It
cool.
is-
It's
it is
definitely
one of the
Leonardo.
green ones. It's one
Yes.
of the green ones.
Is the
Definitely-
Lady
Alright.
Turtle still around? No,
She's not in this. She's not in this comic.
Okay.
Not so far. Wait,
yet.
have any of you guys read last one?
No, I have not.
Okay. It was it's
See, we just lost a
cool.
viewer right there. As soon as I said no, I have not, we just lost. Oh, they came back.
All right.
They're back. They're back. Next, you can keep telling us. Show us the new collections really quick. Yeah. Here's the new trades.
What?
These are trades.
Sure. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to read them all out at the same time with that.
Daredevil
Reading.
Masterworks Volume 15. I always like me some Daredevil.
Wow. Yeah, Daredevil's great.
And then here's what's on Marvel Unlimited if you prefer to read on your digital app, which I do.
They're
This is my
peppering in them Internals.
I do like
See,
it.
well, they have to. They're trying to promote. They're trying to promote that movie.
Yeah, it's
They-
not
They don't have to
surprising.
do much. They don't have to do much. But the fact
Yeah.
is, it's actually sad. Like I read this article the other day, and they were basically saying like Spider-Man is still their highest selling book, and that one is only selling like 40,000 or 47,000, and that's their highest selling book. When I was in comic books, 47,000 was your break even. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man was pushing like maybe 150,000.
Right, but the thing to remember though is when you were doing comic books, they didn't have a digital app that is subsidizing the cost. You know what I mean? Like that's or supplanting it. I guess is the word I want to look for. You know, they have another stream of revenue coming from digital
But why
And I
don't they
think
put out the numbers for that?
because they can't tie it to a specific book necessarily. You know what I mean? Because it's just
Oh, I'm
They
sure
pay-
they can, right?
they
just saying,
can.
It's like the Amazon thing. The Amazon doesn't drop number. Amazon
Right.
Prime doesn't show numbers for their shows. Netflix
Yeah.
doesn't give out numbers.
But you know why? Partially why they don't do that
What?
is because they don't want people to be creeped out to know how meticulously that we're being watched by
Oh,
them.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's part of the reason that they don't go deep into those numbers.
But
they have
what-
to.
But
Oh,
what
hey,
idiots are
non-stop
really
Spider-Man's
thinking?
coming out. Cool.
But what idiot is really thinking that Big Brother is not watching?
You'd be surprised.
Um,
Working
mean,
for customer
definitely
service
not
for
trying
an
to-
e-commerce company, people are constantly shocked about how much information I have.
we're definitely not trying to make people who are watching us right now believe that they are idiots for
No, they are not
thinking that.
idiots. They are good people.
No,
Well,
they're great
maybe
people.
T-Money.
Subscribe to our
but-
T
Patreon.
Money is
Yes.
though he's probably the coolest one out of the bunch.
If you think you're not being watched, please smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Follow us for
Send
more.
over your credit card with your last 3 digits.
Is
So we
that
can keep it secure.
is that all you got from the news?
I actually
Ricky?
freelance as the wallet inspector. If you wouldn't mind just mailing that to me.
Ricky,
that's the news. That's the news.
thank
for
you,
today.
thank you for
Man,
the news.
I'm really interested in Children of the Atom, though. It's like a sidekicks to X-Men. It's kind of cool. It's kind of
I want to
No,
read
that's
that.
the
I want to
thing.
read that nonstop Spider-Man.
Nonstop Spider-Man.
Is-
Yeah, read that.
Is Children of the Atom, is that like a redoing, a reimagining of the actual Children of the Atom? Like
No,
the original
it
series?
doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with like the video game. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
The-
but
the
didn't
arcade game?
they had a comic book series of Children of the Atom, didn't they?
They
Didn't
might
they
have,
a series?
Yeah,
It seems to have a
I think
different premise. It's like a bunch of kids that are. It's kind of like what the New Mutants were supposed to be, or one of those like teenage X teams. It's kind of like that. It's
like
kind of like
a new team.
Hmm.
Yeah,
a new team. Yeah,
yeah. Cool.
That's-
well,
That's
Those
cool.
X-Men looks pretty good too.
well. Before we get into the Loki thing, I did have a semi-related nerd question that I wanted to just get the conversation flowing with really quick. And this question is also for the audience as well. It's my question of the week, which is I just want to know for each of you guys. Obviously, Joel, you can go first. What is your favorite time travel story and why? Since that is the subject of Loki right now.
Tell you the honest truth, my favorite time travel story, favorite time travel story is a little sentimental because I can honestly say Back to the Future because
The perfect movie.
It is a perfect movie, but the reason I find it to be my favorite time traveling story is because I remember the day my sister pulled me out of school without me knowing. And she took me to the movies to go watch Back to the Future. And honestly, ever since that day, I was just like, if I ever have children, I need to do that. I'd one day, without him knowing, just pull them out of school and do it. And it just put something in my head. And it just happened to be Back to the Future, which is a freaking great movie. It's probably one of the best time traveling movies out there.
I gotta say, it is a great one. I would never consider a movie that has the awkwardness of will they, won't they with a son and mother. I would never consider that to be a perfect movie. But other than that, I do love
I
that.
mean, I'm sure Pornhub has analytics that'll prove you wrong. So.
But technically,
I think,
there was never a will they. It was always a won't they.
No, it was a please don't they. That's what it was.
She wanted
Not
to,
in my
he
house.
didn't. She wanted to, he didn't. She wanted to because she didn't know it was he was her son.
I'm just saying, I would.
But
never
I mean, once
describe-
she kissed him, she knew, right? Like
oh my god!
Well,
See,
she said it was
spoilers. You just spoiled Back to the Future.
Wow, way to
It's
go,
not
Ricky.
necessarily a spoiler. That was in the trailer.
Also, Brian would pretty much dig it. I think he would dig the whole making out with Leah Thompson thing.
Very
Only
true.
He was watching.
I know she spun that right into a
Oh.
career with Howard the Duck. So
Oh
Yeah.
man! All right, Frank, you give us yours. What's yours?
Oh man, he took mine. Can we come back to me?
Yeah,
No,
You can
no,
have
I'm kidding. I'll go
It's
with
okay.
Army of Darkness. I think is my
Ooh.
one of my favorite time travel stories. It uses
That's a good
the predestination paradox, in which it's laced in part 2, where he sees that he's already gone back in time via the Necronomicon. Then he goes back in time, and then Sam Raimi very cleverly hides his Oldsmobile inside Army of Darkness by making it fall from the sky, and thus putting that car in the damn movie again.
I always thought it was really cool that it's the third movie is the time travel movie. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like the first two had set up such an interesting like specific cadence for like, this is the kind of movie you're gonna get. And then in the third one, they're like, nope, medieval times now. And it's my favorite one. Like I love that one of the three for
I've
sure.
never seen any of the old Evil Dead movies, but
I
it's just
promise you, even if you don't like the first two, the third one is great.
I
third one's
just
great,
by
yeah.
association, I of pop culture, I'm vaguely familiar with like the imagery and what happens, and it still doesn't make sense. So I one of these days I'm gonna carve out the time.
This kid and what makes sense and what doesn't is always
Have you
hurting
seen
my
Cabin
brain.
in the Woods already?
I did see Cabin in the Woods, yeah.
So you basically understand what how it all makes sense pretty much.
I saw the Evil Dead reboot. I know there's a spooky book.
The reboot's great. The
Yeah.
reboot's great. Yeah, I like that one. They're also
First time
coming
I
out with another one and a TV series, or they already had the TV series, but
Yeah.
There's gonna be a game that got announced too. Their Evil Dead game this week, right?
oh, really another game.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't admire Evil Dead until I was like in middle school, high school. Because the first time I saw it, I was in elementary school, and I was scared as shit. That first
Sounds scary.
scene with the first one with the
Molesting tree.
the tree and the witch in the cabin,
Yeah.
I was pissing my pants scared. That was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. But I was also in elementary school. Yeah, well, that's
Ricky.
what happens.
Yeah. So,
Ooh.
especially if you go camping. If you go camping a lot in the woods or see derelict houses, that stuff's scary. Or witches,
Mhm.
or trees.
I was at the Mopop this weekend, and they had Ash's chainsaw on display. So
Oh,
it comes around full circle. But favorite time travel
the
story, the chainsaw.
Last time I was there, the Necronomicon was out, I guess. There was like a case, and it says like, "Hey, we owe you one Necronomicon." I'm like, what the-
RSVP.
Ricky, what's your favorite?
Ricky?
I like Terminator a lot. I don't want to focus on a specific movie because I like the idea of Terminator as a whole. I definitely.
I think it's very important to focus on specific movies.
yeah.
I think-
two.
I think
We all know two.
I
Yeah.
think one and two are canon.
Yeah, definitely Dark
Everything
Fate.
else is garbage.
He said
hot
Dark
garbage.
Genesis?
That's Salvation, right?
Hot
Salvation's
garbage.
Salvation is fine.
No, okay, just tell us why you like them,
Well,
and we don't have to argue
I
about.
love
the crappy ones.
the humans versus robots battle. It's just a cool story of like attrition of we're gonna send our guys back in time, but we're gonna send our guys back in time to fight your time traveler, and it's this back and forth, which in some movies it ultimately doesn't change anything because it's always meant to be. In others, you do change the future, but I always like that constant time battle.
Yeah.
But in terms of recent stuff, I mean, I really liked Interstellar.
Interstellar
is great.
Terminator. Sorry, Ricky.
Oh no,
I assumed that you were.
Dark Fate was
Dark Fate's awesome.
yeah, it has some good action. There's some good Terminator action in Dark Fate, but Interstellar is cool. The idea of sending, ourselves helping the past.
What is it?
That's the same-
is
that's the same premise as Terminator.
Yeah.
Well,
Is Interstellar technically a time travel because he goes
Time travel takes place in it.
yeah.
well, okay, when they go in the black hole thing. Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd count it.
I mean, to be fair, I was looking these up just to kind of jog my memory. I already knew which one was my favorite one, which I would agree with Ricky. My favorites are Terminator 1 and 2, more 2 than 1. But it's specifically because I'm a cyborg as well, and I rely so much. I rely so much on machines that I feel that was a good a good lesson for me to like how to treat my machines nicely, so that when the Judgment Day does happen, they will look favorably upon me, and I will rule alongside them like their Grima Wormtongue.
Because you like their puppy or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be their puppy. I'm fine with that.
Your bib Fortuna.
I will betray all of you for the Rise of the Machines. I promise that. But no, honestly, the real reason I like those is, and I like time travel movies most of the time in general, is because they're a really fun subset of sci-fi, which always does a great job of setting the rules and then finding ways that are comfortable for the viewer, to break those rules, right? But not like, I mean, the good ones. I'm saying like the good ones like make you okay when they break the rules because they make it clear how they're going to break the rules or what the rules are. You know what I mean?
Did you
Like
like
the lake
Tenet?
house? like the
The-
lake house.
The Lake House. I've never seen The Lake House. Sorry.
Oh my! So it's a good Keanu Reeves joint. It's not good. I'm just kidding. Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock. They
Is that the mailbox thing?
The mailbox. It's a
Yeah.
time traveling mailbox that they send love letters back and forth. It's
Yeah.
I wish I could time travel and do a bootstrap paradox and make myself not watch that.
Wasn't Meet Joe Black? Wasn't that time travel? Like he went back in time to like
No,
date his
Meet
mother
Joe
or
Black.
something?
No,
Well,
no.
which
Meet
one
Joe
was
Black.
this? I know.
Meet Joe Black is about death. It's
He's the embodiment of death.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper decides to be mortal for a while and go and live a life on Earth, and that it is not. I mean,
What
time
movie am I thinking
passes
of?
in that movie.
It,
I think
except
you're thinking of Back to the Future. It's the one where Marty McFly goes back in time to bang his mom. Yeah.
No, there was
that's
this one.
definitely the one.
There was this movie. I remember seeing this movie about this guy, and it wasn't a porn. This guy goes back in time, and he meets a lady, and that lady turns out to be his mother. And his mother died, and he never
that's
knew who his
definitely
mother
Back
was.
to the Future. That's what it's called.
And he didn't know who his mother was, and he goes back in time. And he meets a lady, he falls in love with her, and turns out that lady he falls in love with was his mother.
Is it from the makers of Old Boy?
Wow.
No, it wasn't.
Then I got nothing for you.
I just don't remember. Now I don't remember. For some reason, it popped in my head, and I was just like, "Wasn't that Meet Joe Black?"
Loki Twitch is saying, "Don't forget X-Men: Days of Future Past." I did forget it. No, it's okay. It's a funnish movie. The rules of it were clear. They were a little weird because like it only could be Wolverine because it was his healing powers.
He could heal. But I like the idea of sending the mind back in time. He's still his younger body.
I agree. I agree that was their way of doing something different. Yeah. The only thing that always kind of is it's fun. One of the fun parts of the time travel movies is the paradox, right? Like, well, if I go back in time and I do this, it changes this and this and this, and then when I go back, is it going to be the same or whatever? And I did appreciate that Endgame chose to like say it's totally separate from that, and then that's what leads us into the problems that we're seeing in the reason we're here to talk, right? Which is Loki.
It's still kind of
bringing it back on track.
Avengers is still kind of a bootstrap paradox.
It is, but in a different way, right? It's a different way.
It's more linear than circular.
Yes,
movies are. Yeah, movies.
Yes,
which I do. After you said time is circular, and I'm like, but when I was thinking about it, I was all like, I do appreciate that time travel for that specific thing.
Arrival. Yeah. Speaking of circular,
I don't
Arrival is
like
a great time travel movie.
But the whole linear thing is really cool.
He's literally talking about Avengers right now, Ricky. Don't.
Yeah, I know. I say
you got me hooked on Arrival.
No. We didn't get you hooked on Arrival because we're trying to shift towards Loki, which is what we're trying to talk about. So we should talk about Loki and then maybe talk more about Arrival later in the soapbox. So I think it's time, right, for Loki? Because
let's do it.
Well, we're going to talk about the bingo first, right?
Are we?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to check our bingo cards really quick.
Okay, I have a question about that. Each one of us have a different bingo card.
Yes, we do. Let's hit the button and then we'll explain it to you. All right, so just to make this perfectly clear for our guest Joel, we are playing bingo. The three of us each drafted a bingo card of things, from a list of things that we had selected that could be from the comics, could be from the trailers, could be from the movies, and could be from like out of left field. Yeah, lore. And so what we kind of had to do is we set limits on certain things so that it wouldn't be just totally filled with everything from one category or whatever. and we each
Uh-huh.
drafted one. But to make participation from our guests a little bit more fun, we also drafted a card for our guests. And to make it slightly more interactive with our guests, I provided you your bingo card on before this week's episode of Loki,
Yeah,
and
I
said
have.
you are welcome to change one blue square on it so that you have a better
Yeah.
chance of playing for the charity you have chosen this week. You
Okay.
opted out of that.
I opted out of it, but here's the thing. All right, so I was gonna put Kid Loki on there, but then isn't Eco the Magpie the same person? Because I was
No,
like, I never heard it. I never
equal
heard.
the
Equal is
magpie
basically Loki, adult Loki,
as a bird,
He's a-
though.
as a bird.
Oh,
bird.
that's true. He's a bird. That's what it was. Okay,
But he
all right.
talks to
It's-
Kid Loki. He tries to,
That's what a magpie is. It's a bird. Yeah. So
but he
that's-
eventually takes over Kid Loki's body and
Yeah.
joins the Young Avengers.
so
Which-
Yes.
equal the magpie is bird Loki, basically. That's the
Bird
There's
Loki.
different
Birdie.
phases of Loki, but it's okay though because we're still planning to donate all the lit up squares that you have on your card, $10 each for each square. But really quick, let's just look at each of our things to see how this is going.
Equalize Magpie. Did you win?
I did not have a lot of activity this week on mine. I only got Surtur lit up for this week because they
You're
referenced
gonna
him
get
when
Kang.
You're
It's
gonna get
coming.
multiple Loki team up.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I'm going to get a multiple Loki team up, but I could get Kang and win also. And
Which one do you think you're gonna get first? Let's
I
have a
think-
side bet for charity.
I don't want to do side bets.
Double or nothing.
Well, not for the charity. Sorry, because I don't know how much I'm going to see. Because then that's what happens. Then you're doing double or nothing, and then
Double
you're
or nothing for the charity.
no. See, I believe the multiple Loki team up is going to come before Kang.
Well, of course, it's going to come up before Kang because I'm almost guaranteed.
It
by
almost
next episode,
came up this week.
Yeah, I'm almost guaranteed by the next episode there's going to be a multiple Loki team up.
Yes. Oh man,
But-
I'm totally. I feel bad. Not that I feel too bad about it because we're 50 minutes into the show, but for the record, guys, spoilers. If you guys haven't watched episode 2 of Loki this week, we're spoiling it with our discussion right now of the bingo card, but we will be spoiling things much more deeply in a few minutes. Frank, you got 2.
Lady Loki boy and Surtur.
How did that make you feel when you saw the robe come off?
Like utter shit because my bingo card is not gonna win because I have this big line of just garbage and I'm like, why did I pick that? What was I thinking?
So wait, is the bingo card making you not enjoy the show?
No, this show's making me not enjoy the show, but the bingo card's adding to that misery.
So
Hey, that's why
wait.
that's why we have Frank here. That's why he's
Ignore
here.
him.
So hold on, Frank. You do not
Yeah.
like Loki? You not like the way Loki's going?
I
Honest
found it,
answers.
first episode I found interesting. I thought it was cool. I thought it could be quirky. Second episode, man, I just had trouble watching it. I just had trouble wading through all the exposition. It was just a little too much. I'm not a fan of the spectacle, and I don't really care for a lot of what was going on.
Watch these viewers go.
But I'm the only one. I know I'm in the minority of that opinion. But like the only thing that I really do like is Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston's chemistry together. They're really awesome. And
That's
like,
actually very
Tom
true.
Hiddleston is acting his little ass off, man. That scene where a tear comes out, I'm all like, what? How the hell did you do that? That was amazing.
By the way, I forgot to mention my charity that I'm playing for my card is the Autistic Self Advocacy Network, and I think I'm up to 8 squares I got on that one right now. So I will be donating at the end of the season for that one. And then Frank, you're still waiting to pick yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a feel for it for the show, but like I don't think there's anything in the show that's going to really inform my decision. So I'll probably just have to pick a charity. I'll pick
Ricky.
one by next week if I can't think of one.
Ricky, where'd your card go?
Coming up
You're having technical
now.
issues.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Yep,
That's called Frank. That says Frank. There it goes.
there we go.
I got nothing new this week.
And then Ricky, what's your
Big
Your
Brothers,
charity?
Big Sisters of San Diego County.
okay?
But,
Yeah, you did not, and I also did predict that your card was going to screw you pretty hard. So By the way, I did.
Young Avengers has a chance because like all the Marvel shows so far, all two
Yes.
of them, all two of the
Young
other ones.
Avengers has a chance, but are they gonna wait? Does this bingo end? It ends when somebody either calls bingo or the end of the season.
Well, actually, so the way we're doing this to keep it fun for us is, and for the charities, is the charity the bingo card lasts till the end of the season.
Okay.
But if any of us hits bingo before the end of the season, then everybody else has to buy them a pizza that they can eat on the show live.
Oh, okay. I might be down for this.
Yes,
because I like pizza.
Well, I mean,
Good.
you missed your chance to change one of yours, but
I know.
I will consider giving you an option for changing one of them here today that is for the future.
Okay, I would change the the magpie to Kid Loki. I'll change that one.
Damn it!
All right, it's noted. We'll make that adjustment for you.
I think Kid Loki and Young Avengers is going to go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a feeling if they do introduce Kid Loki, that's their way of like keeping Loki dead, which would be amazing, and having Kid Loki basically having their cake and eating it too.
I feel like Kid Loki will.
I don't think they want Loki dead though.
They don't want Loki dead, but they want
have Loki as TVA land, living outside of time. That's their work.
They want him part of the Avengers. I guarantee you the next Avengers movie, Loki's going to be a part of it. But here's the thing. If they do Kid Loki, he's already part of the Young Avengers. So you can literally have him, you can extend his contract by not paying the same amount of money by having the same character, but a younger version. So Loki ain't going nowhere. But if they had a kid version, it'll be good for Marvel, Disney.
Yeah.
By the way, Joel, you currently have 8 squares on there, which so we will be donating since you're the guest today. We will be donating $80 to #lunchbag, which was the charity you chose. So,
woo! Yeah,
yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we got the website on there, and I'll make sure to update the description for wherever we stream with all the links for all of our charities in case anybody watching is interested as well. We have 2 comments that I did not notice there. What's your favorite pizza toppings, Joel? That's what was asked by Selena.
Bacon. Always bacon.
Ooh. You doing a white sauce or what kind of sauce you doing with that bacon?
Canadian bacon or actual bacon?
Oh, I ain't Canadian. I like my
you guys.
I like my pig crispy.
You guys are hilarious. Well, I while you guys were talking about the Young Avengers thing, I was holding my
I was texting dinner.
No, I was biting my tongue because there is more I want to talk about that, but let's click that spotlight button so that we can officially get into the meat of the show. Okay, so we've already been talking about Loki episode 2. The name of the episode was The Variant. And since it's fresh on most of our minds, I'll just give a quick recap of the episode because we were just kind of going all over the place there. But I think this is a pretty good summary. By the way, I wrote it, so you don't have to ask where I got this from. What I said for the episode was, our Loki discovers that the variant fugitive is a female Loki that's been hiding in apocalypses throughout time to avoid detection from the TVA, while she seemingly schemes to destroy the sacred timeline. Is that a fair assessment? Would you guys agree?
It's a fair assessment, but can we start off by talking about the apocalypse?
Yes.
That was so smart. Right.
That's a cool idea. Yeah. No, I definitely dug that part of the show.
Good idea. I'm like, I literally when I saw it on the show, I was just like, holy shit! How the hell did I never think of that? If it says world-ending destruction shit, you can do whatever you want if you time travel to that spot, basically as your hiding spot.
So I thought it was interesting because it was only cool in the context of the rules that the show established, right? So
Yeah.
the show, and I did appreciate that, like I mentioned this last week, is that the showrunner said each episode would be kind of its own self-contained story. And so I really like that they were setting up rules that for this episode that applied to that, right? So like they made it very clear that in the show that hiding in Doomsdays masks the detection of variant energy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know why, I don't know how, and I don't really care, but like they made it clear that that's what's happening, and then it allowed me to enjoy the thing afterwards. I know Frank, you didn't particularly love all the exposition, but I
love
think
the
that
rules, though. I
you
love that they explained the
okay,
rules. That's something
all
that I
right,
wanted. What I didn't
okay.
like was the thing that they're. It seems like it's set up, or it seems like it might go nowhere, just like other Marvel shows. But when they're talking about like the jet ski, I've never ridden a jet ski. Blah blah blah. Wow, you know, not a big fan of that. I think it took up way too much time talking about stupid jet skis.
Wait, you're really hung up on the jet ski? You don't think
No, I'm
you don't
also hung up
you,
on.
you
No,
don't
I'm
think they're going to pay off the jet skis? What
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying?
like a Chekhov's gun.
Whoa,
There's
whoa, whoa! Everyone chill. Everyone just chill for 2 seconds. We'll explain. It's not that I don't think they're going to pay off the jet ski. It's that I'm hoping that they pay off the jet ski. But other Marvel shows have not paid off their Chekhov's gun.
But other Marvel shows
What
have
other
not
Marvel
called the
show
jet
did that?
ski
Can I
Yeah.
finish, or do you want to keep interrupting?
a beautiful union of form and function. I mean,
Great.
that's quite the setup.
Great. Okay. Cool.
Side bet? Do you want to have a side bet? Because I'll bet you.
I hear a side bet.
I'll bet you
I
money.
can't finish the sentence without you guys talking over me.
It's a really long sentence. Just saying.
You want to talk really long sentences? Really, guys? Is that what you want to do?
Finish your compound sentence.
No. One of the other things that I want to talk about is Loki being a cartoonish version of him. Like, he's just way too dumb. Look outside. Wibbity bibbity. Like, come on, Loki. That's so stupid. Everything's just so
But he's a whimsical character. Yes.
Yeah,
He's always
sure.
been that kind of character.
But not that whimsy.
Do you think he's playing a character though?
I'm hoping that it is building.
I mean,
something.
I've literally seen that guy just for fun turn into Captain America to make a funny joke.
Sure.
I would say he's pretty whimsical.
Yeah, but he does that for a reason. He does that to get Thor to kind of let his guard down. Like that's his
right.
Intention. Which I'm hoping it pays off as his intention here. But just the fact that there was no, there's usually like a tiered payoff, and there wasn't any of the lower level payoffs in this episode, which leads me to believe that we could have another Major Goodner, Tyler Hayward, or like a Power Broker kind of thing where there's no real payoff until like the end credits of Shang-Chi or some shit, you know, like
in fairness to Power Broker, they thought it was a payoff. Okay. I'm not in any way diminishing what your feelings are or my feelings are about Power Broker, but they did think they set something up cool. And, you know, I've heard rumors that they have reduced her role in the next Captain America movie because she was originally meant to be the villain, but people's reaction to that payoff was not good. So, you know, they definitely fumbled that ball for sure.
Oh, okay, can I ask a question? Now, can we agree that Loki so far is the best Marvel series that they have on Disney Plus right now?
Ooh.
Because Loki's only 2 episodes, and I liked Captain America and the Winter Soldier a lot better. Okay. I didn't particularly care for a lot of the race related things because I can't really. I mean, I can empathize, but I can't really
relate.
I can't feel like I could relate as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
But I thought it gave a lot of moments to Sam and Bucky and Zemo. It really let them breathe in a lot of scenes.
Well, it was a Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
The action, there didn't need to be like all this bunch of crazy Marvel-esque stuff. They could just have a moment on a boat, fixing the boat, talking about stuff. Like, it was really good. It was really good in that regard, and I really appreciated it. But when it came time to have some action, there was action, and it was
Okay.
pretty good action.
Joel, I will support you in this very specific way though.
Okay.
I just today said that Loki is my favorite of the 3 shows. But it's because I have the most fun with it because I don't have to waste time speculating. I get to enjoy it the same way that someone who's never watched any or never read these comics before can, right?
That's
Is
very
that
true.
they're doing their own thing with this show that we have no idea where it's going. We have a bingo card of like fun little things, but like we can't really predict the plot because it's too hard to see where it's going. And I don't mind that. I find it fun because it's one of the few Marvel stories where I don't know how it ends. You know what I mean?
I'll give a cop-out answer and say The Falcon and the Winter Soldier's probably the best Marvel show on Disney Plus. But Loki, as of right now, I think is a better MCU show because it's pushing that entire story forward, unlike those other 2 shows where you kind of knew, Sam was going to become Captain America.
Like they're self-contained.
You figured Wanda would be the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, up the shows is what you're saying, right?
And here's a notable difference just from Ricky's perspective. This is the first of the 3 Marvel shows that we didn't start by Ricky saying, "I'm gonna be pissed if blank, if blank doesn't happen." Right?
I'm going to steal a bus full of nuns if Kang doesn't show up.
Loki's not. I know Loki's a big fan favorite, but Loki's not. For me, not the cream of the crop of the MCU. So I'm happy for the ride. I'm enjoying it.
And that's cool. And I think that's what I appreciate about the show is that it is just a ride, and maybe that's why I'm less invested in like the details. Like I'm just more like, okay, if that's the rule you want to set up for this episode. All right, I'm gonna just sit back and enjoy it, and then I will judge the whole thing when it's done, and say, was that really that good
totally.
or what? Yeah.
Like, oh, good.
No, I was gonna say it's like for me in like WandaVision, they tried to do some clever stuff, and it came out for me. It came out very straightforward. They didn't do any gotcha or anything that made you go like, "Ooh, I didn't see that coming."
It was Agatha all along.
And ironically, the same thing for Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was just so straightforward, which I was just like, okay, it's good, but it's so straightforward. This one right here, I feel like their writing is so much more clever because you don't know where it's going, and anything you speculate could and could not happen. It's like it's one of those things where you're going and they're going like, oh, okay, wait, what? Like honestly, for me, first episode when they had like the Infinity Stones just thrown in a freaking dresser drawer, I was like, damn, that's
that's a great way to set their power level. Like
it sets a precedent.
Yeah, it takes everything we've seen in 22 movies and basically say anything that comes after ain't shit because these cats are that powerful. Then you have a situation
unless
where
these cats don't exist at the end of it.
That's probably true, but the world still does. So that means there's something that world
unless the world doesn't exist after it.
Well, right there, you guys are already speculating on what's going to happen. You guys are both guessing.
Oh no!
We've already speculated about Kang, so I feel like there is some.
That's the thing, though. They have to introduce Kang in this show. I feel like they have to.
They had to put Mephisto in WandaVision.
At least they have to hint towards Kang somewhere by the end of the show. Why? Because he's supposed to be in Ant-Man.
But they already did hint towards Kang. Ravonna Renslayer is Kang's girlfriend. That's all they got to do. That's it. Mm-hmm. They have to do to tie it into Kang is bring back Ravonna in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's it. It's a tie-in.
But that's the thing, though. That's information we would know because we've read the
Yeah.
comics. We're the nerds that read
No,
the comics.
but we'll know it in Ant-Man Quantumania when we see her next to Kang.
But it also
I-
but wouldn't you think it would push the narrative better if they actually mentioned him and then showed him in
No,
Ant-Man?
I'm going
Oh,
to
I
use your own.
disagree. Yeah,
I'm going to use your
totally.
own. I'm going to use your own argument against you. We're the only
How?
comic nerds that would understand what a Kang is when he shows up as a cameo. So
No,
why would
well,
that
that's the
matter?
thing.
Why?
That's the thing,
Yes,
It's the
though.
same
yes,
thing.
we are
It's like
They don't
Avengers
have-
1. How many people knew who Thanos was at the end of that movie?
But they didn't have. That's the thing. They didn't have to.
That-
They
that's-
don't have to show Kang. But if they mention him, then show him, people will sit there and be like, "Who's this Kang? Who's this Kang?" Then when they see him, it's a bigger punch because you sit there. It brings a bigger punch to the TV show because they see who he is and what he does in the movie.
But
I
feel
think
like
would
they
be a
have to at
better
least mention.
what would be a better push to the narrative and using the show's own rules against it or for it in this case would be if they had a variant Kang. They're like, oh, this guy's Kang from something,
Mhm.
and he's like
Well,
a
he
helper
has-
guy. He's a helper
But in the
variant,
comics,
or
he
he's on
has
their side. Or
he's
something.
variant. In the comics,
Sure.
he's,
Yeah, no.
he's-
Yeah,
he
it's
has
fine.
multiples.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like, just have a variant Kang in there, and then like, big badass Kang shows up at the end, or
Big
something.
badass Kang.
Or some different kind of Kang,
Right. But I
more
guess
the Conqueror Kang or something.
I guess my point of view on Kang is like I don't feel he has to show up in this one because we already know for sure he's showing up in Ant-Man Quantumania, and I didn't take Quantumania to be the last time we'll see Kang. That's just that's where my head is. My head is Quantumania can be the first time we see Kang because he will be showing up more afterwards in bigger stories. So I guess it's just like a Russian doll thing, right? Where it's like, okay, do I need Kang in this show so that I can have him in my Ant-Man, so that I can have him in my Avengers? I don't know that I need all three layers of that. You know what I mean?
I think that. Well, is it? Do you
It's not
need
that
to
I'm not
see
down.
Kang, or do you need to see Kang, or do the mention? Are those the same thing?
Either
I
way,
would say the mention would be better than to see him because it sets up for future. Because honestly, thinking about it now, I still don't think he's gonna be a big bad until like maybe Phase 5, because Phase 4, like actually maybe even Phase 6, because Phase 4 they're still trying to set up Secret Invasion, and if they set up Secret Invasion, the next Avengers movie is going to be Secret Invasion.
who do you like for the big bad of Phase 4, Joel? Who's your bet?
Probably Super Skrull. Probably
Super
Skrull.
I think you're way overestimating Secret
Yeah.
Invasion.
Well, they don't really do big bads on phases.
I think-
They do them on arcs, right?
I think Secret
they don't
Invasion is
arcs.
going to be.
You're right.
I think Secret Invasion is going to be its own show. I think a Super Skrull is not going to be happening until, I don't know, Fantastic Four 2. Like,
Ooh, that
You
is
know what I
actually
mean?
true. I don't know. I think maybe Fantastic Four #1. Actually, no, it could be 2, because #1, I guarantee you they're probably going to do Doctor Doom.
well, here's the point.
I don't
Here's the
think
point
they're
of
going to
view.
do one.
A Super Skrull without a Fantastic Four is like a Venom without Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So-
I get that.
So
So it's
you
great.
don't. So you don't do a Super Skrull until the Fantastic Four are established, which probably means you don't do a Super Skrull until the second Fantastic Four movie.
But see, I think you got it flipped,
Yeah.
because
I-
I don't think they'll do. This would be the 4th Fantastic Four versus a Doom movie. 5th if you count the other one.
I didn't say Doctor Doom would be it either. You know, there's other villains besides those two, right? Like there's.
I mean, Doctor Doom is
I think-
synonymous. That's like Reed Richards' arch enemy.
Yeah, but I think the we're going way off topic, but I think Annihilus is a pretty big one too,
Nihilus would be great.
because Annihilus feeds into the cosmic stuff also. You know what I mean?
But I think they need to subtly put Doom in there. Like, have
Yeah,
him-
I agree, but I
There
don't
was
think
a-
I don't think the movie has to be about fighting Doom.
yeah.
It,
No,
can,
okay.
it can be Annihilus, or it can be Galactus, or whatever, whatever. It could
That's
be
the thing. There's so many
different
big
Herald.
baddies, though. There's so many big baddies. Like I don't think they're gonna do Galactus until they introduce Fantastic Four. But I do believe before they do a Fantastic Four movie, they're gonna introduce each one of the characters in somebody else's movie.
Yeah.
I honestly gotta see that happening. Like
Cool.
because they're already talking about Doctor Doom being the Zemo in Black Panther 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's the one pulling all the strings between Atlantis and freaking Wakanda. So
Speaking
Just
of
I
big
feel
bad,
hold on, Ricky. I just feel and please let me know if this ties in with what I was going to say. But I do feel that we owe it to the listeners and the viewers to just talk a little bit more about Loki before the show ends in about
We're talking about Loki.
in about 15 minutes. Ricky, does what you were going to say next have to do with Loki?
yes, I was gonna say. Speaking of big bads, let's talk about the baddie reveal of this episode. Lady Loki, or who we suspect is Lady Loki.
Yes. Well, Joel, what do you think about Lady Loki or the variant? Sorry, the title of the show is The Variant, and that character that we met is referred to as the Variant. What do you think of her?
so far she seems like a cool character. I think they're gonna do a team up. Definitely see them doing a team up. But I was watching this video the other day, and they were talking about they don't think that she's actually Lady Loki because they don't mention her name. She's only has one horn. If you watch it,
They
she only
actually
has one
do.
horn.
They actually do mention her name.
Sylvie.
But do
Yeah.
they say she's
in
Loki?
No.
the Latin credits of the show.
Not the Latin. Latin's a dead language.
Sorry, Latin America credits. Spanish
Castellana
credits.
in the Castellana credits, they refer to Sophia DiMartino's character as Sylvie. I don't know if it was accidental because every other localization or translation of the show, they all refer to her as the Variant, except the one, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if
Okay.
you guys know this, but the Variant I was thrown off honestly by the blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's just me. I get hung up on that stuff. But then I learned that there is a Sylvie Lushton in the comics who is the current Enchantress, and
Okay, that's what I was. That's
she
what I
is
was going to
given
talk
her
about.
power by Loki.
But that's what I was going to talk. That's what I was talking about. Where I was saying that she was. They're trying to do. You know how they in Ragnarok they mixed Hela and Lady Death. They mixed those two to make Hela for that movie.
I didn't feel like that. That's Hela is the goddess of death.
Yeah, but they were supposed. I think they were trying to do like a mix of the two characters.
Oh, you're
I felt
talking
like they were
about like
trying to-
death, like the traditional Thanos kind of.
Yeah, the one in the comics that Thanos was in love with.
Oh, I thought it was just speculation that Hela was going to be the death that Thanos was in love with, and that ended up being not true because it didn't happen. I didn't see any indication that Hela was that death.
I kind of feel like they're still trying to mix a character with
The mixing
this
of
Loki.
That's fair.
characters is not
That's
a new
fair.
thing in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. They did mix Falcon with a less shitty version of Falcon by not talking to birds. So
God
that's true.
damn it!
Yeah.
Well,
speaking to the horn thing,
technically he does.
Loki does and doesn't have or he has a horn, and then one of them broken off. Both Kid Loki and female Loki have that.
Yeah.
That broken
Oh, they
horn.
do?
I
didn't
don't know
that.
why. I don't know why
Yeah.
they do. I think it's just a fashion choice, or
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like I just see it. That's how it's
But-
drawn in some of them.
But to be fair, to support your point, they do actually make hints throughout the show. Like, when Loki talks to the Variant and calls her Loki, she says, "Ugh, don't call me that," and then later when he's getting his ass kicked by her or by her enchanted character, he says, "I would never treat me like this," So I think they are laying the groundwork for the possibility that it's not actually a Loki. Or they're just
It could be
making
a
us
Loki.
speculate.
No, it could still be a Loki variant. It's just in that world that Loki goes by Sylvie or something.
Yeah.
Like that. So it could
The
still
other thing that was weirding me out about her though is she clearly had Enchantress's powers.
And
You know what I
they
mean?
make a
Mhm.
point
to
to
enchant people.
this
Yeah.
to say that she's enchanting people.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
I'm not mad if it is Loki. I just I feel like it's a lot of extra work they're doing to make her very enchantressy. You know what I mean? So
I,
yeah,
I would like to bring up a point, and it's like something you had
you
asked
can
in
bring up
the
many.
something you had asked in that form. And you're like, what don't I like about the show? And I can honestly say this is one thing, and for some reason it didn't irk me in the first episode, but it irked me it didn't irk me in the first episode, but it definitely irked me in the second one. Why is everybody human?
Yes.
I,
There was a scroll in the first episode.
There was a scroll, to
in
be
the
fair,
first episode,
but
there was a scroll, but still,
why
everybody else is
human?
human.
In a lot of the TV propaganda, there's a picture of Earth. It's very focused on our race and world that it
Yes,
just it seems like either that's intentional, that this is all just like a projection on
budget.
whoever. But then that really doesn't make sense considering Loki, because Loki's not from Earth,
Maybe it's the same thing with like the Miss Universe competition. How the Miss Universe competition here on Earth only has human women, and I think it should include other races and
Miss Universe, you're right.
it
Yeah,
should be more
we should have
universal.
some grays, some reptilians in there.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm not judging it for not having aliens until I see the curtain pulled back, because I definitely feel that there is a curtain there's a Wizard of Oz situation going on right now.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
there's
So
definitely.
I'm holding back on questions like that until I know for certain that it was intentional or
But see,
budget.
that kind of goes back to Frank's point at the beginning. Like, you need that payoff, right? Or else it's just like the other shows where they.
Yes, and in that I totally agree with Frank that it, like, which is why I said I'm not going to judge it until it's over. But all I know is that right now I'm having fun with it, because I'm not letting myself be hung up on the things that I'm afraid they might not pay off. And that's just where Frank and I differ, right? You can't help but be worried about those kind of things, right?
Well,
like, I mean,
because past shows,
right? Yeah,
past shows and movies.
Frank has PTSD.
You're not wrong. Like, I get that.
It's just something else I noticed is that why is every piece of text there in English?
That's
I'm
intentional
sorry,
because they
Guardians of the
did
Galaxy set a precedent.
Well, no, I mean, they set a precedent by saying that they can speak any language, but also they are a bureaucratic organization. So it would make sense to establish that there is a common language spoken at work.
Okay.
That's their place of
English,
business.
though, why not an easy language?
Because it's easier for us. It's easier for us, the audience.
It makes a better show.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
It makes it easier to understand.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why do all the Wakandans speak English all the time?
Yeah.
It's just, here's the thing. Well, they have an accent, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But
they have accents, so they're okay.
The only thing is that it just, when Guardians of the Galaxy did their thing, even though it's like, even though Nova had basically nothing but humans on Nova, it's just they had aliens on the planet, but most of the talking were humans.
Right?
But you got to remember,
look at the jail cell. There was so many aliens in that jail cell.
Yeah.
Right, but you got to remember that show was called Guardians of the Galaxy, right? The expectation was, let's show the galaxy. This show is called Loki, who is known to be an English-speaking character from a planet that was inhabited entirely by humans, or humanoid people. Like they were, they looked exactly like humans. They just weren't humans, right? They look so much like humans that they now live in Oklahoma, and it's fine. Nobody cares. And then on top of that, the context matters too, right? We're not watching the TVA show. We're not watching a show that shows all the missions the TVA is doing. No, we're watching a show where they're doing a specific case that involves Loki it makes perfect sense why it's all English and why we're only seeing people. You know what I mean? Because it's the
Mhm.
context. It's the context of what we're being shown right now. We're
Again,
not getting. Yeah,
I
we're not getting
understand it.
SVU.
I understand it. It just is still something. It's like dripping water on your forehead over and over and over again. I just
Mhm.
see it and it irks me. It just puts me in a place
Yeah.
where I'm just
I-
like, really?
That's
I
fair.
mentioned last week that I wanted a why, like just a simple why as to why that is. It
I
doesn't
think
have
we'll
to be
get it.
a particularly
I-
good reason. Just
I don't know. I don't know that we'll get a why for that, other than this is the story that we're following, and that it doesn't matter. Like unless Loki ends up traveling to another planet, it doesn't matter right now. You know, because we're only doing stuff on Earth at the moment.
you think
And
maybe
maybe
a TVA intergalaxial
I think Asgard will show up in the show.
Asgard.
I think I
Well,
don't know about. Yeah, I don't
well,
know
in that,
what time.
I don't know if you guys watched the 40 clues or
Oh,
hidden
yeah.
clues in this. I don't know if you guys watched those, but like one of the things that I saw in that was when the bombs went off and the variant timelines went going crazy. There was a list of places that were going down,
Was
and
it
one of them was
Boromir,
Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Asgard
Yeah.
2004
Yes.
yeah,
It's it.
yeah.
or was the year or whatever.
Yeah.
You even had Sakaar. Was it Boromir, Titan, Ego? I didn't
Yeah,
catch
I
the
saw
years
Ego.
for everything, but yeah.
Yeah.
There was
I-
Ego. So
But I enjoyed, I enjoyed this episode. It's a continuation of the ride. I don't think I necessarily liked it more than the first episode, but I like the Owen Wilson Loki dynamic a lot more than I thought I would. Kind of, I know you didn't care for the jet ski bit, or or have some worries about the jet ski bit, but that was kind of like a humanizing moment for Mobius. Like it's kind of seeing Marvel dip into like religious themes without actually doing it, but having that kind of narrative that surrounds it. And I thought that was a really cool conversation that when
But-
he's
But you
asking.
can't. But you can't help but wonder if he's programmed to be fond of jet skis.
Or is that the religious theme? Like
Yeah.
just the programming of religion?
Yeah.
I still think the TVA is going to turn out to be the big bad of this whole story. They're the
Mhm.
ones that are going to be they're doing some kind of fucked up shit that they don't want people to find out. And Loki is basically all the variant Lokis see this shit happening and they're trying to fuck it up. They're trying to fuck up their plan.
You think
Yeah,
the
that was-
TVA or the three lizard god creatures?
Well, that's the thing. I don't
Aren't they an
know-
extension of the lizards though? The TVA?
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
are. But which portion of the TVA machine?
I think-
is,
I don't think the lizards exist.
you don't think they exist.
Yes, I don't think they exist, and I think it starts off. The head is Kang's girlfriend. What's her name? Yeah, I think
Ravonna.
she's the head.
Ravonna Renslayer.
I think she's the head, and she basically is seeing all this stuff. Like her and Kang have a plan, and Loki is fucking up that plan.
Isn't there precedent for the space lizards, the timekeepers, to be? I can't remember what they ended up being, but they're not. That is something that's in the comics where they are
Any
false
precedent,
prophets for sin.
any
any
precedent
precedent-
set by the comic can be turned on its side on the show.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's yeah. That's
I
all.
don't think that's a very good indication. But I mean,
Yeah. See,
I don't know
here's
about the storyline you're talking about.
yeah. Here's the argument in also supporting Frank on what he just said on that one. Hey, Ricky, there is a precedent in the comics for Falcon to talk to birds. Suck it. Suck it.
What's happening?
Suck it.
I wanted it.
Wait till that mutant gene
Suck
kicks
it.
in.
I would have
Yeah.
accepted it if he had a little visor that can talk to Red Wing or
But
Red
didn't he
Wing.
talk?
Yeah.
Did he talk to Red Wing in the show where he said, "Red Wing, who's in there?" Like he was
Yeah,
talking to
he
him.
talks to Red Wing. He does. He talks
The
to
Red
Red Wing.
Ring's like a drone, kind of. It
He
is.
just
I mean,
don't
it is
like
a
the
drone.
fact it's the drone.
You're being requested to drink more, just so you know.
Or
Who requested that one?
From Stoops. But
Tell
yeah, no,
Snoops to pay for the Patreon.
I agree with Frank, and that's kind of what I was saying before. Is like that's why I like this show so much, is because like they're kind of throwing all that out the window. You got to understand the TVA's dominion in Marvel Comics, like the space they take up on the Venn diagram of all things Marvel is pretty damn small. It's not a big, like they're a funny group that comes up in weird jokey comics a lot. You know what I mean? So like I wouldn't hold it like I wouldn't hold that up to like a magnifying glass to look for clues too much in there. You know, like they got Mobius and they got the Minutemen, and that's about it. That's the TVA that they're giving us, and then they're choosing to do their own thing with it. You know.
Don't
Oh,
they got
clearly.
Ms. whatever? Ms.
No,
Minutes?
I don't think they have Miss Minutes. I think they made that up for the show.
Did they?
But I think they based that off of the Jurassic Park
Well, you said Mr. DNA, but I
DNA.
thought-
Yeah,
I thought
Mr.
Ms.
DNA.
Minutes was in. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up. I could be wrong. I didn't see her in the on the wiki when I was grabbing that stuff. I didn't see a Miss Minutes there, so I took that to mean that was created specifically for the show. But I did want to. I mean, I think we've already kind of gotten Joel's answer. I had so many questions, and I got to thank you, Joel, for this, because you actually hit pretty much all of the questions I was going to ask, and you just hit them organically, so I didn't even have to ask them. So I just got to sit back and let Joel talk, and that was pretty cool. Like, you just kind of hosted my show for me, and that was fun.
I wasn't trying to host it, but I'm just like I said.
No,
I'm
yeah.
the bringer of fun.
I
That's what I'm
my
looking for.
just for the record, my questions were, what TVA time travel rules have you retained so far? The other one was, do you think the variant actually is a Loki? Which character is the most suspect to you? And the only other question I guess you guys can answer is, what are your thoughts on the art / music of this show? I was kind of curious about both Joel and Frank specifically on this one.
The art.
The art.
What do you mean
the
the
art direction? The art direction,
Oh,
like
direction.
the visual styling of
visuals?
it, and then yeah, the visuals, and then also Frank. I know music's a big thing for you, so I was curious what you thought about the music of the show. But Joel goes first.
I the music wise, I love it because it's
That's
very
Herman.
menacing.
How about
It is
art?
very menacing. Art wise, I dig it. You can see that this is a definitely different vibe than the other two. And it's like that, and the way they're doing it, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a Dave Finch esque. It just looks a little more moody in this show, and
Finch or
in my
Fincher?
mind, say what?
Dave Finch or Fincher?
Fincher, sorry,
Or
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Lynch.
Fincher.
Or
I don't.
Lynch,
I don't
Lynch,
think
Lynch,
it's a coincidence that the TVA's kind of color scheme, the
It's
browns
that
and the
green.
ambers.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's similar to like the quantum tunnel stuff that we've seen in Ant-Man. How it's that same kind of amber hue. I think
I don't remember
there's a,
specifically an amber hue to.
when they're going to that quantum tunnel, it's like an amberish tone, browns and amber.
We'll have to talk more about that one.
Yeah,
I think
but-
you're leading. You're letting a theory of yours lead that, which it
No,
could be.
but I love that color palette that they're choosing for this show. This it's definitely you can take a Loki screenshot and instantly tell that's from this show, just
Yeah,
based on
fair.
their color selections.
That is true.
color scheme is very unique compared to the other two. It's like in WandaVision there was a lot more reds. I felt like in Winter Soldier and Falcon, it was just brighter. It was just a brighter show. It didn't have any kind of moodiness. Even in night scenes when he was in his uniform, it was a brighter show.
Except at the end when it just turned all red lights and blue lights.
Well, the police were there. That's why.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like Winter Soldier and Falcon Winter Soldier, I kind of feel like they were trying their hardest to keep it upbeat because the tone of the show was a little bit more serious because of what's going on in the world. So
they had to balance a lot. They had to balance a lot
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they made it brighter.
I thought it was funny because I mentioned the red lights and stuff like that. The Loki and that last shot at the rocks cart, that was like I was confused. I was like, what would cause a supermarket's lights to completely turn red? I didn't like there's the moment like when they're fighting and then she's getting ready to take off through the
Power
door.
goes out. Yeah.
The entire I've never seen a place that go all red other than like a high level security, like government building in movies and stuff.
They have ghost lights like in
Yeah.
supermarkets and in
Are they red?
shops and stuff.
Some
they're
are,
kind of
yeah.
like an amber.
Okay.
But it feeds into my theory about the Infinity Stones and the same color. I'm just kidding. Nah.
Okay. Well, Frank, what about the music? What do you have any cool Frank takes on the music?
Music's fantastic. Actually, I've never heard of the composer. Her name's Natalie Holt. She's done some like BBC stuff, like The Great Expectations. That's the only thing I've even remotely heard of. She does a couple TV shows, but I really like her use of the melody. It has like this twinkling ding 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 ding, and then it goes but it's like super like the way it is. It's like a clock kind of.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah,
and she really plays with it.
There's also like that Asgard kind of theme whenever he's like, I know in this episode it plays when he's looking up the Ragnarok files.
Yep.
I get like midsummer vibes, a lot of horns and whatnots.
And when female Loki set her plan in motion to blow up the different time periods or put the bombs in the different time periods, the score turned into a clock immediately. It really highlighted like the mechanical aspects of a clock and the ticking of it. So I really like what she's doing with the music. And again, a lot of the music in most of these movies and a lot of the visuals in most of these movies are never a subject of my complaint. I really enjoy the style that Marvel does. Visually, my eyes and ears are pleased with Marvel.
Yeah. It's just funny that your consciousness can't be as equally entertained because you're just judging so much of it,
It has to be post-credit scene of Spider-Man when they give the show worth. That's when I'll care. That's when I'll care. Just like Ultron wasn't that great. Age of Ultron was okay. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed parts of it, but it was a lot better once we got more context of Vision and Scarlet Witch's relationship. Mostly Scarlet Witch's past and
set up a lot of you got Civil War out of that and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad I asked you about the music stuff because you always have something fun to say and actual vocal examples to emulate, which is really great. Yes. But I think we are running a little late on this show. We can talk way more about all the random stuff that was in Loki and all the other Jim Lee stuff and whatever else Ricky wanted to bring up earlier throughout the show. In the soapbox. I do want to give Joel a special thanks for joining us on this show.
Anytime.
Taking time out of your day. It was wonderful to have you and wonderful to let you host the show for me. That was awesome.
The transitions were so smooth, Joel.
They were smooth. You should consider hosting the show instead of me. It'd be pretty good.
Are you the variant of Dennis? Or
that's what it is.
He's the lesser, uglier one. Damn it. You beat me to the joke. So even you are the better. Really, you're the better one. But I will say, thank you. And if you have any place that you want people to find you on social media, here's your chance to let them know. You don't have to, by the way.
I don't want people to find me on social media. If you want to find me on social media, ask Dennis.
All right, I'll give you guys his home address. That's even better than social media. You can go right to his house, steal his Sideshow collectibles. It's great.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yes.
There's enough cameras in my house.
I know where they are, so I can help you out. I know where the cameras are.
The Jim Lee artwork in there too.
No. But yeah, thank you for joining us. And then Ricky, Frank, what do you guys got to say before we go?
Smash that like button, subscribe, sign up for our Patreon if you want to see the Soapbox, which is our after hours, after show.
And
Yep.
what you got? What you got, Ricky?
I will be drunker in the soapbox.
You will be. That's a
Catch up.
prerequisite.
No, yeah. Come check us out on the Soapbox where we let loose, hang loose, and stay loose. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Just so you guys know, Frank is way less grumpy in the soapbox. Like he's way less grumpy. He's a fun guy in the soapbox. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, fuck this Frank. I
Yeah.
like the variant Soapbox
Yeah,
Frank.
the variant soapbox Frank's so much better. He's more handsome too. Like it's, I don't know why. But. All right, guys, we're gonna take off. Thank you to everyone who listened. Thank you to our patrons who are supporting this show and the channel's growth. Very much appreciated. And those are the people that we'll be looking forward to talking with in the after show. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. Thank you all for tuning in, and to Den Excelsior. Enough said.